I interviewed Eddie Griffin,
who I love.
one of the other kings of comedy.
Yeah.
And he actually had a close relationship with Michael Jackson.
Sure.
They were friends. And it actually
Sure.
started from comedy.
Sure.
You know, he was at Neverland Ranch.
Sure.
And, you know, he was making these Michael Jackson being on crack jokes.
Yeah.
And Michael actually called him over and said, man, I love your jokes.
Yep.
You know, he went over to Mike, you know, he was in Miami. Michael invited him over to his hotel.
So Michael's sitting on the bed. He's like, "You want something to drink?" I said, "Yeah, I'll take some champagne." You know, Coke. Like I just have some water. He's nervous, can't even talk right. So anyway, we got to bouncing ideas and shit. And my brother runs out the room. He like, "Nigga, I can't believe y'all motherfuckers just finished each other's sentences and shit." So Michael's like, "Sit on the bed." I'm like, "Nigga, that's how you got in trouble. Sit on the bed."
Oh, so you're making pedophile jokes.
Like a motherfucker.
He's making pedophile jokes
Right.
around Michael, and that's how they became close.
But Eddie is a 40-year-old man when he was making a pedophile joke about it. If you have a grown dude sitting on your bed, it's not quite the same thing.
He even went to Michael Jackson's trial with him. They went in Eddie's limo
Right.
and everything
I know,
else like
yeah.
that. Did you know Michael Jackson at all?
I met Michael Jackson.
Okay. What were your impressions of him? When you
I
met
think I don't think you can throw somebody away because they do something you don't like. When I was growing up and there was mold on the bread, you cut that part off and you ate the rest.
him? Oh, really?
So I think it's not Michael Jackson. I think R. Kelly and Michael Jackson are not really too much different. They had a lot more hits. If you're going to be mad at R. Kelly, you can be mad at Michael Jackson too. Both talented singers, but shitty babysitters.
Yeah.
And I think, like I thought before, Michael Jackson is historical. Bill Cosby are historical. People like want you to throw the whole idea of who they're, like O.J. Simpson, he's a murderer and one of the greatest athletes to ever play in the NFL. So I don't have to, like people go, how can you listen to R. Kelly songs and Michael Jackson songs after all the things, horrible things they've done? The same way I can sing the national anthem. Like I'll cancel Michael Jackson when you cancel Andrew Jackson. You don't have a problem putting a horrible motherfucker on the $2 bill.
$20 bill, yeah.
Yeah, $20 bill. Yeah, so it's not that. So I don't have these, but I think it's ridiculous that because I would like what somebody did, I'm unable to see what they done.
I mean, did you see Leaving Neverland?
I did.
Did you think that those two young men were telling the truth, or do you think that there was a money grab once
Well,
again?
here's the thing. I watched, in a month, I watched Surviving R. Kelly. I watched Leaving Neverland. And I watched Abducted in Plain Sight.
Okay.
All about pedophiles. So apparently there was a time when fucking a real adult girl was not the thing. I'm so throwback that I like fucking grown women. But
Me too.
I think the consistent thing between all of them is that they were children and adults who were willing to be taken advantage of or suspend belief. Like, okay, so why did the woman in Abducted in Plain Sight, why did her parents, he fucked the whole family, and they all said he didn't do it. They all said at one time he didn't do it. R. Kelly had victims that all said he didn't do it, right? Michael Jackson had victims that all said he didn't do it, and then some of those same people later on said they did do it. That's a common theme through those things, right?
Yep.
And all the parents sacrificed those children up to people that they knew were doing dirt to their children.
Yep. And now all those people are filing lawsuits.
That's right.
And
So,
trying to get $100 million. I mean, I remember when the Oprah, talk happened
Right.
afterwards, and she asked him, one of the guys, about the money. He goes, "Well, I wasn't even thinking about the money." And I'm like, "You're full of fucking shit.
right,
You don't sue someone for $100 million and not be thinking
Right.
about the money.
it's the image.
Cut it out.
Right,
Cut it out.
right.
Your life ain't going too well, and then a settlement like this is going to change your life.
Sure. That doesn't mean he didn't do it.
Doesn't mean he didn't do it.
Listen, we know that the Catholic Church had a series of police, a bunch of priests, particularly in North America. I ain't gonna talk about what happened in the world. They molested all those kids, right? They played billions of dollars in settlements out, right? Billions. Those kids, that didn't make them any less abused or any less molested, but at a certain point, there was a financial agreement. Did it mean it didn't happen? It didn't. I'll never be so black that I'll watch a black man do stuff to black children and pretend like I didn't see it. I'll never do that. And I don't care if you like what I think or not. I'll never cede my perspective to you. I think that those men, there's a reason that the black young boys and black young women become black men and black women who are damaged and who will never be the same because nobody ever believes them. Now, I don't believe everything everybody else says, but I can't for the life of me figure out a grown man would want to be around children. I don't give a fuck if you had a child. You know, most people didn't have childhoods. You know what they do? They go to prison. They become sociopaths if they go to fucking jail. Nobody says just because you, no grown man should want to be around children if, absent being court ordered. I didn't like being around my kids.
Well, unless they're your own kids. I mean, at
that's
the end of
it.
the day, if they're your own kids, then yeah, you want to be around your own kids.
Well, my wife used to make me babysit my kids, and I resented it.
It's not really babysitting if it's your
It
kids.
is. It kind of was, Vlad. It's crazy to me. Like why did they wait? That can't be the predicate.
Well, Oprah got a lot of backlash.
Sure.
For doing that.
Sure.
For doing the interview, and I'll be honest, as an interviewer, I felt that she softballed a lot of that interview.
But they'd already been softballed. So
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm just saying they already. Okay. I don't.
I'm not going to touch
I
that.
don't agree.
Oh.
I think I do not have a problem. I get it. I think they're very talented men, but I think that you can't let the love of their talent. You don't know anything about you. You don't. Here's the thing. The billions of fans they have know nothing about them except their music.
Yeah.
And there's. I hope I hear. I hope I never hear a song so musical, or dope so a verse so dope that I cede my political value, my common sense to it. I hope because I actually do stand in a man in the mirror. I actually do. I believe that it is abnormal for a man to want to be around children. And your argument to be, well, what happened? How come he didn't molest all of them? A serial killer don't kill everybody.
Right. And, I really don't buy the whole, didn't have a childhood situation. Because at the end of the day, if Joe did not push those kids into music, they would probably be working at the GM plant.
Right. In Gary, Indiana, right now.
Gary, Indiana, small fucking town with no opportunities. He got to really get to the highest level of human society. I mean, people, we've talked about this before in my interviews. Michael Jackson is the most famous human being on earth since Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
You cannot name me a person between Jesus and Michael that was more popular, more known.
I can't.
Seriously.
I can't.
Not presidents.
Nope.
Not popes.
Nope.
Nobody, no other entertainers. Michael Jackson was the closest thing to a god on earth in terms of his impact.
Right.
Not to say that he's a deity or he's holy. I'm just saying in terms, people would
I
pass
still
out
believe,
and cry.
And I still believe he molested those children. I still believe. So, listen, I'm not afraid for you to not believe me.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid for you to get mad. What I refuse to do is to let you tell me what I believe because you believe it.
Right.
Motherfucker, I'm a grown man. I have my perspective just like you do. And I'm not going to argue with you. I'm certainly not going to try to change your mind. And what I'm not going to do, you will see, okay, all those people saying all that shit, would you let your kids lay in bed with a 35-year-old man?
Hell no.
You wouldn't. And I don't give a fuck how many kids he got. You know why? Why wouldn't you do it? Because it's not fucking normal.
It's not normal. You
No
don't
go-
leave kids
why?
around grown men
That's
that are not,
right.
even in your family, you don't
So
really
why do
leave
you
kids around
suspend that
grown men.
belief because somebody is the greatest entertainer that ever lived?
Yeah.
Miss me with that bullshit. My wife does the same thing. She doesn't believe it. I'm like, hey, I love you, and I'm in love with you, and I think that's wonderful. But I think that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Listen, pedophilia is not something that's new in human society.
Absolutely.
Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley was dating Priscilla when she was
Absolutely.
14.
Absolutely.
With her parents' permission.
That's right.
What the fuck is the difference?
Here's the thing that
He was 24. Come on. And they got married afterwards. Like, come on, cut it out.
It says this to me.
Jerry Lee Lewis. Like, it keeps
It's
going
Jerry
on.
Lee Lewis. It's Michael Jackson. Is R. Kelly. Is
Woody
Elvis
Allen.
Presley as well. Let me ask you something. Here's
I
the
think
thing.
Woody Allen, honestly, I'm going to say this right now. Woody Allen is the worst out of the fucking bunch. 'Cause that was his adopted fucking daughter. How do you raise a child and then end up fucking the child afterwards? Like, what the fuck kind of twisted fuck are you?
You know what
and
it
people
is?
continue to work with them.
You know why? Because we suspend what we believe about them based on their genius. If you want, like now we don't even, like, let's just say that deviants are pretty fucking talented.
Just put that out there.
Their deviants are pretty fucking talented. You ain't never, if Pat Boone did all this shit, everybody would want to hang this motherfucker. Like, you let somebody, a shitty musician, do this shit, don't nobody care. If you, don't nobody give a fucking, you let Kwame have done some shit like that, nobody would have gave a fuck.
Kwame.
If you a dope musician, a dope artist, the only reason we respect you is because we're blinded by how fucking talented you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You get away with that shit. We don't even, and they mostly just very talented musicians and singers. So I'm telling you, if we want to, we don't even have to have a sexual registry. Just follow people to music class. Like, motherfucker, you with the oboe. Come here for a minute. Let me. It's ridiculous. And it's all because they're talented.